Shalom Aleichem, everyone. Hope everyone had a wonderful, wonderful week. And it is Erev Shabbos Parashat Vaetchanan. And once again, we read the Aseret HaDibros. And as I pointed out in the past, there are some differences between the Aseret HaDibros here in Parashat Vaetchanan than from what we find in Parashat Yisro. So, for example, one interesting difference is in Parashat Yisro, in the last Dibra, we are told, Lo tachmod beis re'echa, lo tachmod eshes re'echa, avdo, v'amaso, v'sharo, v'chamro, v'chol asher re'echa. So don't covet your neighbor's house, his home, his wife, his slave, male, female, sharo, v'chamro. And in this week's Parashat Vaetchanan, it's a bit expanded. We are told, V'lo tachmod eshes re'echa, v'lo tit'aveh beis re'echa, sodeyu, here all of a sudden, we also are told not to covet our neighbor's sada. That's omitted in Parashat Yisro, and I think the explanation is very simple. Is, as we pointed out, this Vaetchanan, these Aseret HaDibros are given to the generation that's about to enter into Eretz Yisrael. And therefore the notion of a sada is going to be very, very relevant as we settle the land, we start to plant, we start to have our fields. That in Parashat Yisro, we're in the middle of a midbar, so the notion of sadeh is not entirely relevant, and hence the difference. But perhaps most important and most interesting about this dibra is the Mefarshim are struggling when it comes to all the other dibros. So we find the Torah is legislating some kind of action, some type of behavior, or at least some type of belief system. Anochi Hashem Elokecha, a belief system. Lo yeh lecha Elohim Acherim, and then the actions of Kabedes Avicha Vesimecha, of Zochas Yom Shabbos Lakadsho, Shomer Yom Shabbos Lakadsho, Lo Tirtzach, Lo Tinaf, Lo Tigzol, etc. Here all of a sudden the Torah is legislating my feelings. Do not have a feeling of jealousy, of coveting your neighbor's field. And how is a person supposed to build himself up to the point that when his neighbor has something nice, special, that he'd like that? How are you supposed to build yourself up to that point that you're not going to even covet? You're not going to even be desirous of that which he has at a very, very high level. How can the Torah legislate our feelings? So there's a very famous Ibn Ezra that everyone likes to quote. Ibn Ezra is not found here in Vaetchanan. It's found in Sefer Shmos, Perek Chof, Pasuk Daled. But the Ibn Ezra gives a mashal, a double mashal. Imagine for a second, we look at birds, and there's probably some point in time that you wish you could fly like a bird. When you're young, you kind of, wow, I wish I could do that, soar above mountains, above treetops, and fly like a bird. But at the end of the day, do we covet wings? Are we jealous of the birds? Yeah, it might be pretty cool. But we understand that we're not birds. We don't have wings. We don't fly. We have other attributes. We have other things that are really, really good. It might be cool to fly, but we don't want to now sprout wings and become bird-like. It's not something we really spend much time thinking about, spend much time being desirous of. Ibn Ezra cites another mashal. You're a peasant man, and the king is marrying off his lone princess, his lone daughter. So the peasant man who has no money, who has, is a lowly kind of regular guy, he has no pretenses of becoming the prince who's going to marry the princess. It's not even in his worldview. It's not shaykh to him, and therefore he doesn't go around wishing, maybe the king will choose me. It is 100% out of his orbit. Says the Ibn Ezra, that's how we're supposed to approach our neighbor's things. Our neighbor's wife, our neighbor's house, his car, his property. It's not shaykh to me. Wings are not shaykh to me. The princess has nothing is out of my orbit. And my approach should be one that Hashem gives me what I'm supposed to have. Echad hamarbe ve'echad hamamit. I have what I need, what I'm supposed to have, with its challenges, with its opportunities, with what it offers me. What he has, his car, his spouse. It's not shaykh to me. It's out of my orbit, and just like I'm not jealous of the bird, I shouldn't be jealous or covetous of what my neighbor has. That's the famous Ibn Ezra. The Ramban offers a new insight. And the Ramban points out, interestingly, that if you look at all the Aseres HaDibros, you'll find some parallel in the Aseres HaDibros, some repetition of the Aseres HaDibros in Parshas Kedoshim. So, for example, in Parshas Kedoshim we have Ish imo va'aviv tira'u ve'es Shabbos osai tishmoru. Yeah, that captures the Dibra of Shabbos and the Dibra of Kabedes Avicha ve'esimecha. And every one of the Aseres HaDibros is found in Parshas Kedoshim. So which Dibra is parallel to the Dibra of Lo Tachmod, of not coveting my neighbor's property? So says the Ramban, the Dibra that correlates to Lo Tachmod is V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, is to love your neighbor like yourself. What's the relationship between Lo Tachmod on the one hand and V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha on the other? So explains Rav Simcha Zissel Brody. Beautiful idea. Imagine for a second your children. You have children, and your children are phenomenally successful. Successful in business, successful in Yiras Shamayim, drive nice cars, have nice homes, seem to have a really, really good life. Will a father, will a mother ever be jealous of his children? Oh, I wish I could live like my child lives. I wish I had their house, their life, their lifestyle, and I'm jealous of them. You'll never find that. Parents are not jealous of their children. They want their children to have. They want their children to be successful. They want their children to be matzliach, to do more, be more, have more than they have. That gives the parents the greatest sense of joy. Says Rav Simcha Zissel, the antidote and the correlation to Lo Tachmod is V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. Is if we loved our neighbor, we cared for our fellow Jew in the same way that a father cares for his child, a mother cares for her child, so then there'd be no issue of Lo Tachmod. And that's perhaps a model. So when a person has a proper appreciation, V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, he's not competing with me. This is not a zero-sum game. If he has and I don't, we're not in competition. I'm happy for him. I'm so grateful that he has what he has. And he has what he has, and I have what I have, and that's 100% fine. And if I'm happy for him, so sure, there's not going to be a phenomena of Lo Tachmod. If we worked on our V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, that will solve right away our desires and needs of being jealous of other people. And that's something to think about as we go ahead and we start to move towards the school year, out of the summer. This vision of V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, yes, Shabbos Nachamu, as we leave the world of 3 weeks and the 9 days, and we think about, once again, rebuilding and that sense of nechama. The sense of nechama ultimately will happen and will be appreciated and will be lived if we have that sense of V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. Have a wonderful Shabbos Kodesh.